We at the Schomburg Center, we have a research fellowship opportunity for undergraduates, many different types of people, but mostly Black. And what's interesting is that these are students who are very successful in school, who are making it through, not only just making it through, they're going on to pursue more school. They're going to get graduate degrees. But if you ask them about their experience in school as people of color, it's almost universally a story of trauma. So let's talk for a little bit. I mean, you've already named some of it, like tracking, for example, but there's other ways that white supremacy shows up in our schools.
And it's like, where does it not show up? That's the question. It shows up in our curriculum implicitly and explicitly. Our curriculum is dated, it's white, it's offensive. Our children cannot breathe in our curriculum. They can't live and learn freely. The curriculum isn't responsive to their histories and their identities and their desired future selves. It shows up in our hiring practices, in our interview questions, the questions that we ask. I am so tired of hearing the questions like, why do you want to be a teacher here? Give me 3 challenges you have as a teacher. I want us to ask more direct, more explicit, more Black-oriented questions to teach Black students, right? How does anti-racism show up in your math curriculum? How will you teach grounded in Black excellence? Because you're teaching 90% of Black students. It shows up in our lack of recruitment and hiring of teachers of color. And this is problematic for our teacher ed programs, right? Our admissions process oftentimes exclude or don't invite people to even be teachers who look like us, or we use things like GRE and other test scores to exclude them from being teachers, or we teach folks like Vygotsky and Dewey like they are just the models of educational success.
Yeah.
Even teach them about Black theorists and Black educational folks who can lead the way, who can lead their thinking toward this profession. That kills their spirit. So it's in our standardized tests. It's in our teacher evaluation, it's in our curriculum, it's in our state standards. And it's sort of conditioning the minds of educators that we have to teach skills only. I study the history of education and the history of reading. And the ways in which we educate kids today is almost too similar to how we have educated folks in Europe in the 14th, 15th, 16th century. It's time that we change, because this is not moving us forward. It's continuing to perpetuate the same foolishness, the same failure. It's in the zero tolerance policies and how we suspend, and we don't make it impossible for students to fail, because the system is designed for them to fail. So it's everywhere.
I mean, that's Gholdy Muhammad. I mean, I don't know what you heard in the street. I mean, if I could add something, I think there's 2 things that you hit on, Gholdy, is that idea, like, they're spirit murdering our babies.
Yeah.
Right. Every day you walk into the classroom with all of these things that Gholdy and Dee have talked about, and it's on you. That murders your spirit daily. And then the other thing that I would say is that it's something that I've heard social justice lawyer, social movement lawyer, Derek Parnell say, this idea of managing inequality. That's what we do in education. We want to manage the inequality. So we have positions, we have directors, we have all these things that manage the inequality. We all know we have the inequality, but we're not in the business of eradicating. We're not in the business of removing the inequality. We're in the business of just managing the inequality. So in a state like Georgia, they have an award that you get called Beating the Odds. They actually give you an award if you are a school that can beat the odds. That's white supremacy. So you're going to sit here and tell me, here are all the things that I know that get into your way. And some of the odds that they say is class, low income, areas where there's a lot of folks who come in and out, race. So you have all these things that you know are barriers. And instead of removing the barriers, you rather measure me against the barriers. And so what we're concerned about doing in education is truly managing inequality. You got to be down for this. Abolitionists teaching is a way of life. It's not what you do in the classroom. It's who you are. Your very being has to be changed. And so we're not just talking about you come in the classroom, you got your Rashid had 2 apples, Keisha had 3 apples. How many apples did they have? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about that you understand, believe the history and the knowledge and the ingenuity and the creativity and the beauty of Black people deep in your soul. And you don't got to be Black to understand that.